Good morning and welcome to the third day of January 2024. It's midweek already. The holiday is over. And I know you're reluctant to return to work after an intense, dirty December. Well, President Akufo-Addo is trending number 3 on X, formerly Twitter. Why? Well, he has ordered an audit into the contract between the Ghana Revenue Authority and Strategic Mobilization Limited, SML. This press release has received a flurry of responses. The minority leader has reacted. Bright Simmons has reacted. Ben Boache has reacted. The story is boiling and we get into the heat of things. In sports, we have an interview with 2 former coaches of the Black Stars squad for AFCON. Do you remember this?
We are deputy, we are MMDC.
If you are a CEO, deputy, MMC, and you believe you can no longer work for government, resign and let others do the work if you are not included in the reshuffle.
Well, we are in the new year and the question is, when is the president reshuffling his team? Who do you think is tired and must leave Akufo-Addo's team? We will be live in Kumasi and Accra on this burning topic. Plus, we have a cookathon. It promises to be a packed morning. Good morning once again. Stay back. We'll be right back with the news. In our top story, President Akufo-Addo has ordered an audit into the contract between the Ghana Revenue Authority and Strategic Mobilization Limited. The audit will be conducted by KPMG and is slated to last for 2 weeks. A press statement from the presidency issued by Communications Director Eugene Ahin outlines the president's specific terms of reference for the KPMG audit. President Akufo-Addo further instructed the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Finance to adhere to his directives and furnish KPMG with all necessary documentation for the upcoming audit. And we have the statement on your screens. Let's go through it. It says the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has appointed KPMG, the reputable audit, tax and advisory services firm, to conduct an immediate audit into the transaction between the Ghana Revenue Authority and Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. Now, the terms of reference of the audit are as follows. 1. Conduct an audit to ascertain the rationale or needs assessment performed prior to the contract approval by GRA and assess how the arrangement aligns with specific needs. Now, 2, it says assess the appropriateness of the contracting methodology, verifying compliance with legal standards and industry best practices in the procurement process for the selection of SML. And then also 3rd, evaluate the degree of alignment between current activities and the stipulated contract scope, identifying any deviations. Also evaluate the value or benefit that SML has so far offered to the GRA through this engagement. Then it also says review the financial arrangements, including pricing structures, payment terms, and resolution of any financial compliance issues, and submit a report on findings on the above together with appropriate recommendations. Now, President Akufo-Addo has tasked KPMG, as we already said, to complete the assignment in 2 weeks and submit the appropriate recommendations to him, and further directing the Ministry of Finance and GRA to provide the audit firm with whatever assistance they will require for the conduct of the audit, and has also directed the Ministry of Finance and the Ghana Revenue Authority to suspend the performance of the contract pending the submission of the audit report, including any payments presently envisaged under its terms. Now let's bring you a recap of the SML controversy.
Comments follow a documentary titled The 3 Billion Cedi Lie by the Fourth Estate, alleging that the Finance Ministry ordered an expansion of the SML contract for 10 years, estimating it could yield the company $100 million annually. The documentary also claims that the expansion was directed despite the company making false claims about its savings through revenue assurance in the downstream sector. The GRA had backed SML's initial claim that it saved Ghana more than 3 billion cedis. The GRA backing comes despite the MD of the company, Christian Soti, denying the company saved the state that much.
No, that's why that 3 billion, I'm not. That's why I told you from the beginning. I said I don't know about this 3 billion.
We cannot say your intervention saved 3 billion.
No, I said 3 billion. I'm not. I've told you that I'm not aware, because when we were told about the publication, we even called the.
As we speak this morning, it's still on your website.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In fact, to be honest, I don't even know website matter.
Within SML itself, there are contradictions on this subject of the 3 billion cedi savings. This week, head of IT, Prince Sapong, contradicted publicly his boss.
So in estimate, what actually happened with the 3 billion is, as I talked about, the money is all about the volumes. So if there's an increase in volume, there's an increase in revenue. And since SML started operation, we can confidently say that there has been an average monthly increase of 100 million liters. So if you multiply it by 24 months, with the tax component that we are not even using the 1.74, we are using the old tax component, which is 1.44, that will arrive at the 3 billion that we talked about.
This current position of the head of IT contradicts his own earlier assertions when the Fourth Estate first put the question to himself and his boss during the investigations.
What we did was not even the accurate figure. We never talked about accuracy because we are not GRA. Only GRA can give you accurate figure. So when we are talking about this, it depends on how it was reported. So it didn't. No one actually said that we actually generated as like accurate. Yes. So they said there's a caption by a journalist.
The GRA claims in this statement that SML is only paid if there is value addition. However, the contract specifies that SML is not required to add value to the upstream petroleum and gold sectors. It will be paid as long as production takes place, receiving 0.75 cents per barrel of the 160,000 barrels of oil Ghana produces daily. Additionally, SML will receive 0.75% of the total gold production, amounting to about $50 million annually, based on 2022 gold production figures. The GRA claims they signed a 5-year contract, but the Fourth Estate says the contract they referred to had a 10-year agreement and may have been updated. Listen to lead investigator Manasseh Azure Awuni.
Some documents which I'm also sharing. I think page 13 of the 54-page contract mentioned 10 years. If they have reviewed it to 5 years, we requested documents officially from them. They have not responded to us. But if they have reviewed it, it doesn't change the fact that for the next 5 years, SML will be making more than $100 million US.
These inconsistencies, among others, between the GRA, SML, and the contract documents raise concerns about value for money and transparency, increasing public pressure on authorities to clarify.
And 4 more individuals have been shot in Odomi Chalat in Kwantano T region following the shooting to death of one person yesterday in renewed clashes. The 4 victims are believed to be head porters who were loading a truck with Gary when the incident happened. This latest one occurred barely 24 hours after another person was shot and killed in the area. At least 12 persons have been killed in the ongoing conflict, believed to be related to land and chieftaincy issues. This fresh killings comes just days after the chairman of the Municipal Security Council, Bright Lenwa, announced plans to tighten security in response to what he described as fresh twist to the conflict. Listen to truck driver and one of the head porters narrate to Joy News what really happened.
We were attacked at gunpoint. 4 persons on board my truck suffered gunshot wounds, including my assistant. There were about 25 of us who had gone to load bags of Gary from the community. I cannot identify the assailants.
They We were chased at gunpoint, so we asked the driver to speed up. We need to pray for the 2 out of the 4 persons who suffered gunshot wounds.
Now, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, is predicting a further accumulation of debts in the energy sector this year, warning the situation will be dire as both the gold and oil reserves are not capable of offsetting the debts accrued so far. Its executive director, Ben Boache, attributes the situation to the poorly negotiated power deals and the failure of state-owned enterprises to settle outstanding debts to creditors. Mr. Boache, however, notes that the only available option may be to consider sacrificing the budget to pay independent power producers to mitigate a potential power crisis. He has also indicated that consumers will have to psych their minds up to pay more for power supply if the efficiencies in the sector are not fixed.
These are some of the lousy decisions that are going on in the power sector that makes our situation much more precarious for 2024. But the reality is that we're going to rack up more debt. We're going to have to sacrifice the budget as IPPs cough. And my worry essentially is that the state-owned enterprises and entities in the space are going to really, really struggle. And the implication, if we are not careful, could be much more dire. Because you have the likes of Gridco, who depend solely on revenues from ECG, and they are not getting paid. If they don't get paid to maintain the grid infrastructure and the grid goes off, everybody loses power. And if they lose power, the sad part is that we're still going to pay for that power because the IPPs are committed on a long-term take-or-pay basis. So we have to pay them whether you need them or not. The GRA is not going to get money. They will make money from their own sale of power to other businesses, but ECG will continue to underpay them because the IPPs will be needing the money. The IPP payments are over 70% in arrears, month-on-month basis. So that is also going to continue to pile up. But to sum it all up, if you look at how we're behaving and how we're treating the energy sector, the reality is that you put our gold revenues together, you put our oil revenues together, and it's not enough to offset the mismanagement of the energy sector. Business as usual, you should expect some adjustment. If we are not willing to fix the inefficiencies, recover revenues from power sold, then the few faithfuls are going to have to pay for it. And that's been the trend. So we waste the energy, people steal the power, and if you are faithful enough to keep paying, then we always come to you to pay more. And that has proven not to be the solution. Just increasing the tariff, and the data shows the more you increase the tariff, the more irresponsible people get. Because if they cannot pay, they are much more enticed to steal the power.
But
and especially
our policy is to do full cost recovery.
Under the IMF program, yes. But they have failed, and the budget even recognizes that we've not been able to deliver on that. And given that it's even an election year where the political appetite is going to crash with the demands of the IMF to actually do cost recovery. If we don't fix the inefficiencies, we will never get to that point where we can say that this is the cost recovery when we are only racking up the tariff on the few faithful ones.
The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers is predicting further falls in the prices of fuel at the pumps in the first quarter of 2024 as the demand for the products globally are relatively lower in the beginning of the year. Some oil marketing companies have cut prices of products at the pumps from the 1st of January, making it the second consecutive time for fuel prices going down. Now, one of the major players, Star Oil, took the lead by selling a litre at 11 cedis, 24 pesos. Now, from the previous 12 cedis, 69 pesos. Executive Secretary for the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amos, says consumers should anticipate further reductions.
I always advise and maintain that institutions like the bulk oil storage and transportation need to take advantage of seasons as these, where you have international market prices dropping around 600. Within the year, it goes as high as 900 to 1,000, 1,200. If I had the opportunity stock up now, while prices are friendly, the possibility of you cashing out maybe after March is high, and boss could probably make some good money if they did. But again, the question of what funds they would also use to hold the stock for the extended period, so that when prices or the price curve was to turn the other way and prices were to start going up, they could ease product onto the market. So it will bring you back to the issue of, the strategic stock margin or account. If there's some funds that governments can advance to them, I'm sure they can hold enough stock now, so that even if you woke up tomorrow and Israel has ramped up their activities within the Middle Eastern bloc, and OPEC is also cutting back on numbers, and the geopolitical developments look as though prices would have to go up, both would have had enough in tank in order to be able to cushion the market at least for some weeks. But as it stands, it looks as though we'll rather be interested in more in buying and selling on the spot. So whatever prices we get this week, we buy and then we put on the market. If next week prices come and they are high or bullish, we also buy and let consumers pay for that. That way, we don't derive the full benefits that boss should have given all Ghanaians.
Economist Professor Godfrey Bopping is daring government to pay its creditors if indeed it has turned the corner in managing the economy. According to him, inasmuch as government has made some strides in managing the economy, it is not enough to celebrate its achievement. His comments follow recent pronouncements by President that his government has made significant strides in turning the economy.
So there's work for us to do. We recognize that we've made some progress, but it would have been more meaningful if we would be moderate in celebrating our success. Yeah. And this is why I'm saying so. We are still in the midst of negotiating with our creditors. Yeah. So if you are having a cocktail celebration of turning the corner, give creditors money to them.
Thank you.
Okay, you are sitting on the coupons of creditors, over $2 billion. You are having a cocktail. You don't know how they are going to have their Christmas. So let's our actions tell the same story at the negotiation table. Yeah. We are likely to be received favorably by our creditors and the rest of them. Remember that, and maybe one day we can have that conversation. You look at the G20 common framework backed by the IMF, and you see that there's a problem in there. And that is why we are having these challenges with when are we going to agree with our external and the rest of them. Because you look at the DSA and the burden on creditors to bail out Ghana is so huge. We have a role to play. We elected them. We actually don't write an appointment letter for them. They decide how they have to be paid. Of course, committee here and the rest of them. But I think that it's increasingly becoming clearer to even the politicians that our governance is becoming unbearable. That there's an urgent need to save Ghana's democracy from itself. That is different from proposing an alternative. Right? How do we make democracy work for the ordinary Ghanaian? How do we ensure that the democratic dividend trickles down? But you see, we just can't wait. Ghanaians should understand that you merely just can't go and vote once in 4 years during the AGM and sit back and expect that the democratic dividend will trickle down. It will not, because it has not. And there's no evidence that it's going to going forward. So we all have to be active in demanding accountability. To do so, we have to learn to bury our political differences, tribal, whatever. And then we have to learn to pursue the common good.
Interim Minister Ambrose Derry has lauded contribution of Vice President Dr. Malbum Bawumia in the constant reduction of inflation, stability of the cedi against major currencies, and above all, reducing corruption. Speaking at an annual party held for constituents at Kogligu, Ambrose Derry noted that the Vice President had demonstrated that he is capable of leading the country to prosperity.
Interior Minister Ambrose Derry averred that the Nandom constituency under his reign as a member of parliament of the area has given a facelift to roads in the area which hitherto were in deplorable conditions but has now been opened up, increasing the economic well-being of the people.
Well, Nandom development has been really fast, and you agree with me, you are journalists who have been working here, and this village you have come to. You have come to this village a number of times. You could not access this village in the rainy season, especially from Hamley or from the Nandom direction, because there will be floods. You could not come through. Culverts, now you have bridges. It's tarred all around. Now the road has been tarred. When I was regional minister, it was from Naduli coming through Laura. It came, it's tarred. We've moved it from Laura into Nandom to Hamley. That's the highway. Now you come into Nandom. When the president was sworn in 2017, he came here and cut the sword for urban roads, and you would agree with me that most of the roads in Nandom have been tarred. They have not just been tarred, but drainage systems are being worked on, and it's ongoing now, to the extent that, apart from what we are doing, we've had a variation of the project to get 8 kilometers from Brutu into Lambuse. You see that beginning to clear the roads.
Ambrose Derry also spoke on the provision of potable water, electricity, and support for women.
We have several water projects all over the place, and we are still working. We are working hard to make sure we get more water points. Electrification, I believe we have almost covered all the communities. In this year's budget, we are provided for rural electrification, and we are going to use the budget to complete ongoing projects and make sure that every community in the Nandom municipality is covered. You also realize that we now have a bank, ADB Bank. Nandom was served by a rural bank who did a great job right from its establishment in the early days, but there's a need for financial support for small and medium scale enterprises. And the bank has been open. If you visit it, you see the bank is doing very well and is targeting. I'm especially interested in the women folk who have got these small boxes in the villages where they contribute. If you give our women loans, you are going to empower them. And once our women are empowered, you would have the best economy in our community.
The Nandom legislature urged Ghanaians to vote to retain the MPP and Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia as president of the country to continue with the good works of the MPP.
He is a man who has the capacity to improve this country. He's already shown by the digitalization, and that is one way of fighting corruption. And I can give you a few practical examples. Before the digitalization, if a contractor wanted to renew his business documents, he had to go by air or by road to Accra, check into a hotel, go to the ministry. Difficult to find a director. He finds someone down there. He needs to grease the person's arms. Now, thanks to digitalization, he's paid online. His license is issued online. So corruption in that area eliminated.
Reporting for Daily News, Rafik Salam, Kokoligwu.
And the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has assured electorates of redemption for the country if voted back into power. Nana Yaujima has more in this report.
To meaning, the origin of the noun Savior is traced to the Bible, in which Matthew chapter 1 verse 21 speaks of the first coming of Jesus Christ. It reads,
She will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from sins.
After this prophecy was fulfilled, another promise of the second coming of the Savior is made in John chapter 14, verse 3, assuring to deliver his people from bondage.
And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also.
The story of the biblical Savior is likened to that of John Mahama's second shot at the presidency. And this is how supporters of the NDC tell the story. Between 2012 and 2016, John Mahama was granted a 4-year mandate to lead the country. Here are the accounts the former president gives on his service to the nation.
And then inflation and almost 40%.
As we speak, inflation is around 40%. In 2016, when we left office, inflation was around 12%. The country's debt was 120 billion cedis. That's from independence till I left office. Today, it has increased to 600 billion. If we are to share the debt among the population, each individual would have to pay 4,000 Ghana cedis, but now it has increased to 20,000 Ghana cedis.
And there's 600 billion. Yeah, check canoni in there, no biafan and baby qua. Ye naya de almost 20,000 cedis. Obia abofra ya won and ne. And also de 20,000 cedis.
However, John Mahama was voted out of office for non-performance. The call for a second term is gaining ground as the former president tours the country to seek concerns of the public for a 2024 party manifesto. Here are some firm believers of the John Mahama candidature.
Apart from Mahama, you need savior baby.
John Mahama is our savior after Jesus Christ. If he doesn't come to help, then we are dead.
Mahama na savior to say 2012 Mahama by.
He came to office in 2012 and exited in 2016. Things have deteriorated after his exit. We need him back into office to help.
The savior tag is being accepted by the former president as he attempts a comeback into office. The NDC flag bearer has continuously described the NPP government's performance as abysmal. He believes the country has run into a ditch and in need of an experienced hand to salvage the situation.
And ne obiesu and no my ding. Your boss no VIP ayede echo akwentu no akoto ditch.
Today we are all crying. Things are tough. The bus in which we are traveling has fallen into a ditch, and we have to join hands to bring it back on the road. If you take a look at the political parties in the country, the most development-oriented party is the NDC.
I just say, Emrebia, Samanyo Kono Betnasi, Timi who say, Empuntu Oba, Emma Gana Koninim, Sa Amanyo Kono NDC.
To him, a second coming of his government is a redemption for the country.
Nyame say obesuma ajenkwa no abeji yankwa me Kristo di minim say sa ajenkwa no Yesu Kristo. And so minim say nyame hu Ghana mobo.
God promised a savior. I am a Christian and I know Jesus Christ is the one. But I know God has shown us mercy. So before the second coming of Christ, there will be a predecessor to save Ghanaians from bondage. That person is an experienced individual with knowledge to help. I know that savior is John Dramani Mahama and the NDC party.
Hey, Nipa, what's that name, Diano? If you say, baby, I am my Edruno. Experience any of Enti minim se saje kwano nyame adumunti John Dramani Mahama any NDC amanyoko.
Christians are certain of a return of their savior, but the NDC's savior can only return if the electorate vote him in 2024. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
Now, passengers seeking to commute from Accra to the Ashanti, Bono East and Western regions on Tuesday were left stranded following shortage of coaches at the major transport terminals. Some operators also explored the situation by inflating fares. Stanley Neeblew's report read to you. The transport situation after the Yuletide season has deteriorated. Commuters who traveled to Accra for the Yuletide were stranded at lorry stations in an attempt to go back home. Almost all the major transport terminals were characterized by frustrations aggravated by long queues. Some transport operators were helpless. Portia fears she might lose her job if the situation persists. She had already spent 5 hours at the Owa bus terminal before the Joy News team met her.
It was yesterday that I planned of going, but when I came, the situation was worse, and I went home. But today, I'm waiting until I get a car. If I didn't get a car, I will sleep around. No one is telling you anything. They are even angry at us and telling us they didn't even tell us or force us to come here. So if you can wait. If you can't, go home. But what I'm going to do at Kumasi too is very important, so I have to wait for the cars.
Others share similar sentiments.
Because of Nake Christmas holiday nusunti. I'm like implant dosun kakra wa run I say. By area I will move ebeko.
I wanted to take my ticket in the morning. That was 7 a.m. But I studied the queue and realized I can't do it. So I had to go back and come back in the afternoon. So I came here around 1 o'clock and I just got mine. I came to Accra here on that was just yesterday. And the fare was 120 cedis. But as I'm talking with you right now, it is 140 cedis. Yeah, a difference of 20 Ghana cedis. If I don't pay, there wouldn't be any transportation for me.
At the VIP transport terminal, the situation is no different, even though 185 coaches had been loaded and left scale. Adakabre Frimpong Manso is the manager.
The numbers have come in today a bit surprising, from just about 5 a.m. up to the 5 p.m. that I speak. The 12-hour cycle has given us close to 185 coaches, and it's still counting. And we are doing our best. We will continue to run the 24-hour cycle, ensuring that nobody is left here stranded, and ensuring that we can get them going. And then we have a special service for lactating mothers, for the aged, for the security services, where we give them a kind of a preferential treatment. So these are the ethical side of the business that we are doing. So nobody will be left behind, and VOIP will continue to cut everybody. By 7 a.m. tomorrow, where the next shift also comes in, there will still be people and the buses will be moving.
He is confident of solving the transport situation by tomorrow, January 3. And that's how we conclude news on the AM show. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with News Review with Dr. Asa Asante. Welcome back to the AM show, and this is the News Review segment. And joining me for this is Dr. Kwame Asa Asante. Dr. Asa Asante, welcome to the AM show. Kindly unmute and speak to us. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Good morning. I'm sure you can also hear me.
I can. Loud and clear. Perfect.
Many happy returns.
How was your Christmas?
Very quiet one, in the sense that we decided to be at home, do a few things academically, and then also reflect on the way forward as we enter 2024 with academic work and then with office work. as well as national politics. I took a deep reflection of all that, of course, thinking along with my family. So I can say that all in all, I've had a better reflection and I'm poised for action this year.
Indeed. Action including what? What really has caught your attention lately?
Oh, strictly speaking, I am going to speak like the way I do all the time, but this time more towards the vulnerable, the needy, the poor that we have neglected over the years. I want to also be part of the crusade to be able to preach message of peace and ensure that the little contribution that we have will be able to make towards making this democracy work and work for us. This means that election is critical and that things that support electoral processes, I'm going to be part and parcel of that process. Things that bring violence, conflict, rancor, divisions, I will be part of the team that will help to get this out of our society and bring everybody on board so that we appreciate the benefits of democracy and that there will not be any day to a military regime over the path, that tight rope of democratic righteousness, so that one day we all will sit down, take a deep reflection, and say that we've made it. And that's my dream. And it's my hope and prayer that the good Lord will grant me the health, the ideas, and then the tenacity for purpose, so that I can also be part of this agenda.
Interesting. I think it's a good cause. Well, let's delve right into it, and we'll be doing the review on My Joy Online. We start with myjoyonline.com. And as we've already indicated, President Akufo-Addo has ordered an audit into the GRA SML contract. This contract started brewing late last year, where the fourth estate investigated into their dealings. Dr. Asante, what do you make of the president's decision to audit this contract in this year?
Please, I think the line is not too clear. I'll be glad if you could.
I could repeat myself. Is it okay now?
Your question so that I know the import.
Right. Can you hear me now? Dr. Asante? Well, unfortunately, the lines have been interrupted, and we'll get back to Dr. Asante when we have him. But as we already indicated, President Akufo-Addo has ordered an audit into the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Strategic Mobilization Limited's contract, into the downstream petroleum sector. The audit will be conducted by KPMG and is slated to last for 2 weeks. A press statement by the presidency issued by the Communications Director, Eugene Ahin, outlines specific terms of reference for the audit. And like we earlier indicated, the terms of reference by the president includes a conduct to audit to ascertain the rationale or needs assessment performed prior to the contract approval by the GRA, and also assess how the arrangement aligns with specific needs. Also, that the appropriateness of the contracting methodology, verifying compliance with legal standards and industry best practices in the procurement process for the selection of SML, and also to evaluate the degree of alignment between the current activities and the stipulated contract scope, identifying any deviations, evaluate the value or benefit that SML has so far offered to the GRA through this engagement, and also to review the financial arrangements, including pricing structures, payment terms, and resolution of any financial compliance issues, and submit a report on their findings on the above, together with appropriate recommendations, and the President has given them 2 weeks to do so. The President has also instructed that the Finance Ministry and the GRA provide KPMG with whatever assistance that they will require to conduct the audit, and then also directed the Finance Ministry and the GRA to suspend the performance of the contract pending the submission of the audit report, including any payments presently envisaged under its terms. And so those are the terms of references the President is looking forward to KPMG fulfilling. But we have Dr. Asante back on the line. Let's try him one more time. Dr. Asante, can you hear me now?
Yes, I think it's clear.
Wonderful. And
do you hear me too?
I do. It's clear. Yes, and so we're talking about the audit that the President had directed into the contract between SML and the GRA, and I'm asking you what you make of the President's decision at this time.
I believe that audit is normal, but the President should allow the process to go the way it ought to be. That is the way to go. If you read our Constitution, the preamble captures it clearly, and that we are interested in probity and accountability. So at all times, whenever there are things that raise questions, we should be able to allow a process that would dovetail into these principles in the Constitution that will allow for probity, that allows for accountability, and the rest of them. If we are able to do that, then we are in business, and we are in the business of governance, that we are allowing the process to take the natural course. Any other thing that will go against the process will constitute things that are not in the interest of the people. And remember, governance is nothing but the interest of the people. We need the people at all times. Democracy hinges on the people. Without the people, forget it. You don't have a democracy. So it is my hope and prayer that we guide this process the way it ought to be, without any interference whatsoever, so that at the end of the day, whatever comes out, we'll be able to take a firm decision on it and right the wrongs if there is the need.
Well, Dr. Asante, I mean, on this same contract, the minority is raising questions. The minority leader, Dr. Kasiala Tufosin, says President Akufo-Addo is making efforts to whitewash the Ghana Revenue Authority and then SML's contract. According to him, the Parliament had already begun some investigations into the contract and believes that the President's decision to audit it is stifling their efforts to, unearth whatever contradictions are in this particular contract. Do you agree with him? It seems Dr. Asante's line continues to, break, but we'll be getting back to him.
A little difficulty getting all that you are saying.
Okay, I'll go over that one more time.
Bit.
If you can.
Please,
I can hear you now. I'll go over it one more time. So it seems we will have to get back, Dr. Asante. We'll get you back on the phone lines, and then we can continue this rather interesting conversation. And like I earlier said, the minority leader, Dr. Kasiala Tufosin, is questioning the President's timing of an audit into this particular contract between the SML, Strategic Mobilization Limited, and Ghana Revenue Authority. And he's saying that the directive is a day late and a dollar short, and perceives it as a strategy to dissuade Parliament from fully exercising its oversight responsibility over the contentious contract. And in a Facebook post on Tuesday, the Jumako Enyan Esiam lawmaker emphasized the NDC MPs remain vigilant and will not be misled. According to him, he's saying that the former finance minister, Dr. Atufo, assured Ghanaians of the commitment of NDC MPs to ensuring a thorough investigation into the scandal and holding all those found culpable accountable. And then quoting him, he says, the president who should have led this fight in the wake of this scandal is playing catch-up, since Parliament has also directed GRA to suspend all payments to SML. Let's delve deeper into this, and we now have Dr. Asante on the phone line. Dr. Asante, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, it's clear.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I was asking you, the minority is questioning the president's timing to auditing this particular contract. And I'm asking if you agree with them or you don't have any problem with this.
Audit is a natural process that anytime there is a need to apply that means of assessing things, we use it and use it appropriately. But what I want to caution is that all the time, what I've seen in this country is that political actors do not want institutions that are meant to address some of these challenges to work. And that is what I will caution the government to make sure that they allow the necessary institutions to take up this challenge and work with the process, so that whatever comes out, all of us will not raise an eyebrow. Once we do that, then we are in the realms of governance. Then we are in the realms of good governance, of course, and then we are also supporting the cause of our Constitution, which enjoins us at all times that in matters of this nature, we should ensure probity, we should ensure accountability, and the rest of them. So I believe that, yes, if all that the president has done will ensure that institutions will work, I am for it. But if there is an attempt to undermine the whole process, I'll be the first person to criticize it.
Well, Dr. Asante, I think the bone of contention here is the timing. Do you think the president ordered this too late?
That is why I'm saying that if we allow institutions, and institutions here, Mami, is what I'm talking about, the rules, the procedures, the norms, and all that. In administering any public office, there are rules of the game. When there are problems too, there are rules that are spelled out already, telling us what to do. We need to go by that. Once we go by all these things, we shouldn't have any problem. Remember that such rules are made taking into what consideration timing. So once you go by the rules of the game, you are also comfortable that you are operating within the time frame required by law.
Right. Right, let's move on to the next story about Nkwanta. Looks like the conflict there is raging. Doesn't look like ending anytime soon. Another person has been shot dead and in the area. At least 12 persons have been killed in the disturbances believed to be linked to land and chieftaincy issues. And the fresh killings comes just days after chairman of the Municipal Security Council, Bright Lenwa, announced plans to tighten security, following what he says is a fresh twist to the conflict. Dr. Asante, I mean, conflicts, land, chieftaincy continues to ravage the situation, the peace in these areas. And what do you make of this? The efforts by our security agencies, especially, to halt some of these things. Are we doing enough to avert some of these crises that erupt?
As for security, I'm sure we go to sleep, we wake up, and we are safe, and we are moving on. It gives you an indication that, yes, in spite of all the challenges that confront us as a people, financial constraints, logistic constraints in the area of logistics and the rest of them, our security have been able to up their game, and they are keeping us all safe. We are happy. Except that we want to say that sometimes they also get it wrong, and I'm not blaming them for anything. relative to this problem, but I'm talking in general terms. But it's a human institution. When they do wrong, we correct them. When they do right, we applaud them. I believe that they have lived and live up to expectation. We need to strengthen them to do more. And we will not also hesitate to take a swipe on their actions when we think they've got contrary. If you look at the situation at Nkwanta, you realize that security has helped since time immemorial. I am very familiar with that terrain. And once in a while, we get such problems coming up. But the security has always been up and doing, and they've been very helpful in bringing peace at the end of the day. It is my hope and prayer that whatever the conflict is, it will be resolved in no time, and that economic activities, social activities will take on place as it's supposed to be. The place is a natural place for growing of crops and the rest of them. I can tell you that a lot of yam that we consume in this part of the country come from that place. Apart from yam farming, they have also vegetables and the rest of them. And it's a very attractive area for tourism and the rest of them. It is a place to be, I can assure you. Thank God the NDC government was able to support in the road construction from Huawei to Nkwanta. This government has also added its bit to it. And the last time I drove there from, I think, 2 years ago, I found it very interesting from Huawei to the place. I don't know the situation now from Accra to Huawei. And the time I used it was very terrible. I hope that the government will quicken its effort to support the road infrastructure network and then improve it so that people can have a sigh of relief. So that place, in economic terms, in political terms, in social terms, in all terms, is a very important area that we always want to support. So I'll urge the security people to continue to do the good work they are doing. Let us also give them support, and let us also talk to families that in spite of their differences, they can go and sit around the table and jaw instead of war. It is the way to go. There is no problem that can ever be solved, because I believe that there is always a way out to end the problem. And they have lived as a family for years. So I believe whatever the differences, they can bury their differences and smoke the peace pipe.
You've talked about jaw-jawing to ensure, some form of stability in the area, but this has been going on for some time. What really do you think is the complexity, that is not allowing these people to come to some form of agreement?
It's a mix of factors. Sometimes you realize that intransigent positions of the the actors involved in the conflict will always create a problem of this nature. Sometimes security problems, sometimes is a whole lot. But I believe that whatever the situation is, we should be able to handle it and handle it well. Once there's a problem, security go there, calm is restored, normalcy is brought back and all that. It tells you that all needs the effort, we need more effort to sustain that. For security, they will be able to do their work and leave. But when they leave, we should have the mechanism to sustain their effort. And that is basically what is lacking. We should be able to have a roadmap that is lasting enough to address all the challenges, the lingering challenges, and so as to deal with the problem head on. I believe that over the years, if we want to do a good work, we will have a whole ocean of literature on this perennial conflict in that area. So by which time, we should be able to put all together, bring stakeholders together, and then see the way forward. Thank God, this country is blessed with a lot of people with ideas about conflict mediation, conflict solutions, and the rest of them. So we should not sit down and allow the society to burn. We as a society, we owe it to ourselves to make sure that there's peace in that area. The little that we can do, we need to start now. Let's get stakeholders together. Let's get the actors together. Let us find the causes of the conflict and then get into the roots and then deal with the problem once and for all. I'm not sure the problem is that daunting that we cannot handle as a society. All that we need is to be able to apply ourselves to it and then resolve that we are dealing with that problem once and for all. This should be done, and it should be done in no time. The place is too an important area for us to allow it to go in flame.
Right. Now let's move on to Graphic Online, and we're in the election year. And first of all, let me ask you, what do you feel? What are you picking up in the atmosphere at this point? I know it's a bit early, but let me just ask you, what do you see in the atmosphere now, looking at the campaign tour of former President John Dramani Mahama, Bawumia, Alan Tremanting? At least those are the ones we know for now.
I think the ball started well. This is how it ought to be. But we always caution that much as we want to sell our messages to our people, our message should be devoid of insult. Our messages should bring to the fore issues that help build the society. We should not have messages that are, conflict-ridden, messages that divide our society. And we should be able to accept criticisms. One of the problems we have in this country is that we are quick to respond to criticism, and then sometimes we go overboard. No. In a democracy, we should develop that big belly to accommodate criticism and work within that time frame. Government will have a lot of questions to answer, and government must be sober to reflect on them when we throw it at them. So all these things should be able to work and work well for us. And we should always have at the back of our minds that it is this country we want to build. And if you want to build a country, you don't destroy it first in order to build it. No. And I always believe that the way to go is what? Discussion, dialogue, give and take. Right? It is when you lack ideas, you lack the power of argument, then you shout, you attack, you introduce violence, and the rest of them. I want to urge the Ghanaian society that this election, we are going to look forward to what? Hearing messages of hope, hearing, messages that resonate with our people, hearing messages that deal with our problem. Any other thing that do not support the cause of the ordinary man on the street, we should be able to decipher that, take it out, and those people who are turning out will vote against them. We should not make it a point of glorifying political parties and then all the nonsense, I'm sorry to use that word, associated with what they do. No, in the name of that, this is our party. This is how we have been over the years. This is the one we know. Even if it's not performing, we are prepared to live with that party forever.
Well,
no, we want to assess the situation based on our circumstances of the time, and out of which we make an important decision that will help us.
Well,
and people should not, the last thing, people should not take this election to be what they do or die affair. No.
Right.
That they want to win power at all times. You will have all your strategy. Of course, nobody goes to election with the hope of losing. But when you lose, you should be able to accept defeat and abide by the rules of the game. That's the spirit behind any democratic enterprise. And these things must be inculcated in people. And I tell you, I'll be part of that team that will want to socialize people along this line so that we can make an informed decision.
Well, let's look at the messages that is being paraded here. Former President John Mahama says although Ghana is going through a crisis, citizens must not give up and on the possibility of improvement, urging that the populace should exercise the franchise, seeking to bring him back to power and that he's going to ensure that hope is not lost, and also saying that he is a second savior for the country, seeking re-election. Does his message inspire hope?
A very beautiful message. Politicians should always give us a message of hope, and he's doing exactly that. Politicians should be able to right the wrongs of society through their messaging and through their strategy and through their manifesto by and large. So I believe that all that he's saying is nothing but the truth. It is our duty to reflect on them and see whether there are things that will support the cause of the ordinary man, to support our families, our people, our country. That is how it should be. So, yes, there's nothing wrong. He's saying that, yes, he's coming to redeem Ghanaians and all that. He should be able to go beyond this and tell us how he's going to work the mathematics of it, so as to let us have confidence that he has what it takes to be able to do what he's saying. Once he's able to do this, we as a people will reflect on them and then give a verdict based on that. After all, politics is nothing but a contest of ideas. So this is a time for people to show us, to tell us the ideas that they have under their sleeves. They should be able to bring them out. And then if they have been in government before, or whatever work they've done, they should be able to showcase. And when we demand this, we are not demanding something extraordinary. No, it is within the framework of any campaign activity. So we are going to demand what is due us, and we demand questions for things that have been promised, things that have been done, past records. We are going to scrutinize all that, and it's going to be interesting. So he has also started, and he has started well. We want to see more. MPP will also come in, let them come in with all that they have. We welcome them and see if they are fit for purpose. We will talk about that. If there is something that is not helpful, we will be quick to point it out to them. And I urge all the smaller parties to do the same, so that we will approach this election from the point of view of issues, nothing more, nothing less.
Well, Dr. Asase, let me take you to the camp of the NPP. You know, very late last year, Justin Kodua-Frimpong hinted of a reshuffle and saying that the president, if members of the government couldn't work for government, they should leave their jobs for others who will be willing to work. But before you comment on that, let's take a listen to what he said.
My last question goes to the appointees of this government. Sebi,
if you were a CEO, deputy, MMC, and you believe you can no longer work for government, resign and let others do the work if you are not included in the reshuffle.
So we a minister, we a CEO, we a deputy, we a MMDC. Now say we reshuffle in the so now what transi now shenwa bra feduma no eto member party no.
It is time for a change, for others to continue the work. If new people come and work, we will have victory in 2024 election.
Dr. Asase, do you agree there should be a reshuffle?
It's long overdue. We have told this government time and again that there's a need to change the team players, reshuffle, so to speak, and bring more energies to bear on the work of government. Government has been so adamant in this regard. And anytime you talk about it, the government seems to have different ideas, or that the government tells you that they are doing well and that he's waiting for results and other. Where are the results? The things that we said, which were rejected, I'm happy the General Secretary, it has dawned on him. I've said it time and again that, look, if we talk and government will not listen, the realities will dawn on the government one day. And I'm happy we are here, that the realities have dawned on the party to the extent that the General Secretary is now out there, you know, telling the people in government and then the government itself that reshuffle those who are non-performing ministers to leave the office and all that. That is all government is about. Governance is how you make economic and political resources better for a meaningful life for human beings. So we should put you in a position. We are not putting you there for beauty contest, that the standard is different from what we are talking about. We are talking about what? A standard that should be able to bring us the result that we need to make life better for the ordinary man. If you are not fit for that purpose, I'm afraid you are in the wrong job. Leave it and go. If you, as an individual, you don't have the capacity to leave office on your own accord, the government should force you out. After all, it's the government that appointed you. And it's the government that will disappoint you at any time to you. And he has no right to, he has a right to what? Either explain to you what he has sacked you or not. So I was wondering why it's taking the government so long a time to realize this simple governance procedure. But better late than never. If ministers believe that they are not living up to expectation, it is in their own interest to leave office. Because in politics, the more you stay and you don't perform, you become a non-performing minister. Your name will go into the annals of the country forever and ever. And I'm not sure any human being, worth his or herself, will want to have such a record. So they have to do the needful by leaving office those individuals who are not performing. And if they are not, the government also should show them the way so that government can salvage its image, government can improve its lot, and government can deliver on its own promises. If government is able to do that, it will have a sigh of relief and will be able to also get back some of the things it has lost through non-performance and the rest of them. So it's a good call, but it is not enough. They should, impress it on government for government to do the needful so that those who need to be changed are changed for results. After all, politics is a contest of ideas and a referendum of your work. At the end of the day, you have to showcase what you have done, giving all the resources we have given to them. The day of accountability is here, and it's 2024.
Dr. Asante, in your opinion, which areas should experience a shake-up?
If you look at what we are seeing now, the economy needs serious improvement. Yes, so you have to make sure that you improve the economic fortunes of this country. Sometimes when we talk about reshuffle, it's not necessarily, taking people out of office, but you move them to other positions where you think they can perform better. That is another. Reshuffle also entails that. So you can, it's like musical chairs. Sometimes you move them to other places where you think they have their energies their energies will be applied and applied well. Sometimes you realize that it's beyond repairs and that person must be jettisoned out of the process. You do that. We need to improve the unemployment situation in this country. We need to be able to up our game in the area of health sector. You and I are alive to the problems that confront this country in the area of health. In recent time, we have seen upsurge of kidney problems and the rest of them. In government, you saw what happened in Kolebu, the renal section, and the rest of them. We have a lot of health issues that we need to spend resources. We need people to reflect and work on that. We need to also make sure that the gains we have made in education will strengthen. Where there are weaknesses, the free SHS system, a good idea and all that. But is it working? If it's working, how much has it contributed to our development and all that? What is left to be done, ought to be done to bring that program to a normal fruition and the rest of that. So all the ministries, we can do proper assessment and see where government says he has all manner of information. You look at it and then you see, they'll be able to see which area is not performing. If you find that and you realize that you cannot put the person to another ministry because you believe that he has the expertise to be able to change things there. You throw the person out. Simple. And that you owe the person no apology. After all, you brought the person in to come and help to build the society. If he's not able to, promote this agenda, what is the point of keeping that person? Government must be bold and be able to take very important decisions. And that brings me to a book that was written by Madeleine Albright. If you read the forward, and there's something that President Clinton wrote about it, that in politics, you should shy away from stepping on people's toes. In other words, step on toes, provided you are doing the right thing, and fear not. If you are afraid of stepping on toes, I'm afraid you are not in the realm of governance. You are in merry-making, and you are not doing anything. That book should serve as a guiding principle for this government to be able to take the necessary decisions.
Well, so Dr. Asante, if I understand you correctly, you are delving into health, education, and the economy, right?
No, I'm saying that I don't have the data that will be able to point that this area is not working. But there's some of them on top of our head. You realize that there is a problem with this economy. There's no doubt about that. There is a problem with health. There's no doubt about that. There are other ministries that there are problems. And I'm saying that it is not necessarily the case that you have to throw a minister out. No.
Right.
But you can put the minister into another ministry where you believe that he can his expertise and his ideas and all that can be put into useful adventure there and help lift up the game there. There are some places you realize that this person has been a monumental failure for the work that you are doing. You throw the person up and all that. There are places you realize that let me also bring others to come and support the minister to work in this regard. I am saying this because if you look at the things that voters consider, apart from we as a people, all that we need for ourselves, the things voters consider in making decisions at the poll, one of it is the first one is the economy. So if there are problems with the economy and you want to turn a blind eye to this, I am afraid you are going to have your fingers bent. So you need to work, because when the economy improves, it robs off all the other sectors. All right? So it is the first and foremost consideration you want to pay attention to, and then do the needful there. Strengthen the place, support the place, make sure that whoever is leading the place is giving what you expect of him. If he is not, and you think there is a need to change the person, do. If you think that he is doing well, maintain him, support him, and let it work.
Right.
So it's with the other ministries and all that. But I'm saying that reshuffle does not necessarily mean that throwing a minister out. You can also reassign him a different ministry. You can also make sure that you bring him, you demote some ministers. It's part of reshuffle.
Right.
You bring him from ministerial position to deputy ministerial position for him. If he is comfortable with that, he continues and all that. Do all that, because at the end of the day, you need results.
Okay. Grateful for your time here, Dr. Kwame Asante. We are thankful for making time for us this morning on the AM show. We wish you all the best for the rest of the day. And we'll be delving deeper into this conversation. Already we are getting comments on X, formerly Twitter. We'll read a few of them. This one says, from Christopher Clove, it says, who is more tired than Oga? I beg, be courageous enough to tell Oga in the face. Also ask the appointees to reduce their corrupt practices instead of talking about tiredness. Fatigue and corruption are two different things. Focus, bro, you have nothing to say. Well, from Todia Rock, he says, the entire cabinet except Hawa Kumsen. And Neo Sule says, they are all sensing a change. We'll take one more, says, resign while you can't, sack him or her. Do you guys reason? You appointed someone, and if you think he or she is sabotaging you, why don't you sack him? And this from Augustine Kwekuboni Arthur. And I'm finding it difficult to mention this name, but this person says JFK sell. Well, those are some of your comments on X, formerly Twitter. We'll be bringing you more of these comments and also touching base with our correspondents in Kumasi and here in Accra on what people think as well. Right now, we'll bring you sports, after which we'll delve into other conversations. And welcome back. Insightful conversation about the Black Star Squad by Muftau Gary L. Smith. And we move on to the discussion of the day about the SML contract between them and GRA and also the Finance Ministry. And as you know, conversations have been heating up on X, and President Akufo-Addo has been trending number 3 on Twitter, formerly Twitter, X I mean. Well, he has ordered an audit into the contract between the Ghana Revenue Authority and Strategic Mobilization Limited. He has, in the press release, it has received a flurry of responses. The minority leader, Cassiel Etoforsin, has reacted. Bryce Simmons has reacted. Ben Boche has also reacted. The story continues to boil, and we are getting into the heat of things. And on your screen now is that particular press statement released by the presidency on what President Akufo-Addo is seeking that KPMG appointed to audit that particular contract should do. And the terms of reference, according to this statement, are as follows. It says, 1, the KPMG should conduct an audit to ascertain the rationale or needs assessment performed prior to the contract approval by GRA and assess how the arrangement aligns with specific needs, assess the appropriateness of the contracting methodology, verifying compliance and legal standards and industry best practices in the procurement process for the selection of SML, and also to evaluate the degree of alignment between current activities and the stipulated contract scope, identifying any deviations, evaluate the value or benefits that SML has so far offered to the GRA through this engagement, and also review the financial arrangements, including pricing structures, payment terms, and resolution of any financial compliances issues, and then submit their findings together with appropriate recommendations in 2 weeks. The President has also indicated that the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Finance to suspend the performance of the contract pending the submission of the audit report. And I have on the line Manasseh Azure of the Fourth Estate, who also led the investigations into this particular contract. Manasseh, good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you and all the viewers of Joy News.
Well, briefly, how has your New Year been? I mean, from the 31st night into New Year, really, how has it been for you?
Well, the New Year hasn't been bad, but mainly boring because the weather is so cold that you cannot go out and enjoy any proper sunshine or even so. We are in here and monitoring developments back home.
Right, right. Now you enjoy and appreciate the weather here in your home country.
Well, I've always appreciated the weather back home. It's one of the biggest blessings we take for granted because others travel miles, spend so much to experience that weather. And back home, I didn't like air condition, but to realize that you are walking a deep freezer around is another trouble altogether. So
interesting. Well, Manasseh, let's get into it, right? I just read the details of what President Akufo-Addo is expecting KPMG to do to audit this particular contract that you investigated, a whole year of investigation into this particular contract. How significant is the President's decision for KPMG to audit the contract?
Well, it is significant and commendable that the President is taking an interest in this matter. But the problem here is the end game, I am wondering what it is that the president wants to achieve with this audit. I'm saying this because the last investigation I did, which President Akufo-Addo ordered an action, was the contracts for sale scandal in 2019. A day after that story, the president suspended the CEO of the Public Procurement Authority and referred the matter to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, and also the Office of the Special Prosecutor to do further probing. The result of that is clear for everyone to see. The president fired or dismissed the CEO of PPA, Ejinin Boateng J, after SHRAJ completed its investigation. And then the Office of the Special Prosecutor is now prosecuting ABAJ and his brother-in-law, Francis Ahin, in court. Then this investigation, he orders KPMG, or appoints KPMG to do an audit. The question is, why not the SHRAJ or the OSP? Why an audit and not an investigation? And so the end game is what I'm not very sure about. As you rightly said, it is receiving a lot of attention on social media. And a good number of people are saying that, look, this is an attempt to whitewash the scandal and then allow it to pass. And I am tempted to think that perhaps KPMG, which has experienced reputational problems elsewhere, including South Africa in recent times, may not want to tamper with his integrity in this matter because the issues are pretty known. And so if I were in the shoes of the president, I would do something different other than what he wants KPMG to do.
Well, Manasseh, the president's terms of references are very clear. I mean, these are very important questions that we need answers to. And you still think that the president should have done things differently? What differently?
Well, the president has more powers than any of those institutions that have expressed interest in working on this, the OSP and also Parliament. Now, the question is, what isn't clear from that documentary or the evidence that is out there? A company claims to be doing work that is stopping under declaration or under reporting. It claims to be tackling diversion. It claims to be tackling dilution and all other problems. And as a result of doing this, it saves Ghana billions of cedis. This company is confronted by investigative journalists who provide evidence that a company is not doing any of these services and that other companies and the National Petroleum Authority are performing these roles. So what you claim to be doing cannot be true. The company says, yes, we admit what we publish on our website isn't true. And by the end of the day, the company proceeds to delete the said services that were said to be saving Ghana money from its website. It is clear. The company claims to have saved 3 billion cedis. And when you look at the documentary, we make mention of the increment in revenue in the period. And bodies such as ACEP, Africa Center of Energy Policy, have done even more detailed analysis of the figures using GRA's own figures, which point to the fact that it is indeed not true that volumes increased the way GRA even claims it did. That in 2022, volumes rather reduced or decreased. So what basis should we continue to pay? If I were the president, the only part of the contract I would order an audit would be the existing ones that were signed in 2019. But the new and consolidated one, that is to expand the company's operations to the gold and minerals mining sectors and also the upstream petroleum sector. That is earning the company about $90 million a year. If you add the existing one, which is about $20 million, we should be talking about $110 million in a year. But the new ones, there is absolutely no justification for keeping it for even a day. And if I were the president, I would straight away cancel or discontinue that one, which is yet to be executed anyway, and then proceed to order an audit or a proper investigation of the existing ones, so that if monies are spent that are not supposed to have been spent, people should be held accountable and we should be demanding refund.
Well, in your investigation, you said the contract was supposed to have last 10 years. They are explaining that it's rather 5 years. What do you have to say about this?
I think we have said a lot on this. It appears that what we were given, we never got any response from them when we wrote to them. So they say it's 5 years. Let's go with 5 years. They say it's 5 years, renewable for another 5 years. So let's go with the 5 years. It doesn't make any sense to be paying this company over $100 million for 5 years, subject to another 5-year renewal, if what they are saying is what should happen. So the duration is not the most important thing here. The most important thing is that this first contract they even signed in 2019, it's in its 4th year now, and they've just amended it. So that contract alone is going to go for 9 years. I mean, the original one is going for 9 years, even if you are dealing with your 5-year thing. And we know that once these contracts come on board, they stay forever. And there are many of such examples. The problematic Zoomlion contract was signed for 2 years, subject to another 2-year renewal. That was in 2006. We are in 2024, 18 years, it is still on. So the duration is not a problem at all. Whether 10 years or 5 years, renewable for another 5 years, this contract doesn't deserve to exist for even a day. If you listen to players in the industry, if you listen to the GRA, if you listen to MPA, if you listen to SML, even in this documentary.
Well, Manasseh, let me get your point of view on this. I mean, you've also questioned, not questioned, but you're having some reservations for KPMG investigating this. I know you petitioned the Special Prosecutor to look into the matter. Do you still insist the Special Prosecutor should have been the one to go into this?
Yes, the Special Prosecutor should go into it. Parliament wants to go into it. But if the President wants to act at this stage, there is enough evidence to have taken certain actions without this auditing. The question is, in 2 weeks, what will KPMG be able to cover? It took us about a year to do this investigation. And I don't say that anybody that goes on a lot of the work already. But in 2 weeks, will KPMG be able to speak to all the interested parties, interview relevant players, including independent people who have knowledge of this technical subject matter? Will it be able to visit the MPA, look at the structure they have, go to the depots, visit SML, and all cover every other part? They say they should go to the oil production sector upstream? Are they going to go to the drill ships to find out, okay, what, or the oil ships where we produce oil to find out the system that are already in place? Are they going to go to the gold mining companies to look at the setups, the gold rooms, to see what the PPMC and GRA officials, their roles in the various mining sectors? So the question really is, if you are giving someone 2 weeks to come out with this, what you call an audit, not an investigation, it might as well perhaps rely mainly on the administrative processes. Did this contract follow due procedure? Yes, they say, well, it went through PPA approval and all of that, but we know some of the most fraudulent deals in this country have the backing of the Public Procurement Authority, and the PPA itself was caught in a scandal. So we may end up ticking the administrative boxes and going through documents and perhaps not getting to the bottom of this. And that is what I am wondering, what the end game of the president is. Are we going to see what the so-called clearinghouse thing, or the president really wants to act? So as to whether they will do a good job or not, or whatever will come out of it, we are all going to be monitoring, because the issues are out there. And the question we are asking is, as we stand, SML Ghana has been given a contract that will ensure that every liter of fuel that is consumed in Ghana, the company has a percentage that where they will receive as money. Every barrel of fuel that will be produced in Ghana, SML would have a percentage. Every ounce of gold that is produced in Ghana, this company will have a percentage. And at the end of the day, it is entitled to over $100 million every single year. That is 1.2 billion Ghana cedis every year. The question is, what is this company doing to deserve this? And if you watch the documentary fully, you would appreciate that this company doesn't deserve a pesewa of our revenue.
Right, Manasseh, thank you very much. And as I said earlier on, there's been some reactions coming from the minority in Parliament. And right on your screen on X, Cassiel Atufosin has been responding to the president's letter. And he says, President Akufo-Addo's appointment of KPMG to audit the so-called Revenue Assurance Agreement between the Ghana Revenue Authority and Strategic Mobilization Limited has come too late in the day. He says Parliament has already directed the Finance Committee to audit the infamous agreement, and the committee is actively seized of the matter. The president, who should have led this fight in the wake of this scandal, is playing catch-up, since Parliament has also directed GRA to suspend all payments to SML. This whitewashing attempt by the president in the name of an audit will not dissuade Parliament from looking into this matter to stop the siphoning of state resources into the private pockets of government officials and their crony business partners. So that is coming from Cassiel Atufosin. And Bryce Simmons has also been responding, and he says KPMG's practice oversight bosses should prudently preserve the firm's reputation and drop this assignment. This issue is a hot political potato right now. The nature of the allegations requires an in-depth look by state bodies with the right powers and independence. KPMG has neither. And so, once again, somebody is questioning KPMG taking up this particular audit. Well, there's been reactions. There's been reactions coming through to this one. But let's go back to Manasseh and get his reaction. Manasseh, this is what Cassiel Atufosin and Bryce Simmons are also saying on this particular audit. And it seems Bryce Simmons agrees with you that KPMG must not audit this. What do you have to say?
Well, I think I've made my point, and My point is that it depends on what the president seeks to achieve with this. If he really wants drastic action, he has enough information to take that action, pending what the other bodies are likely to come out with. So if I were the president, the consolidated contract should be off because it has no legs to stand on. And then any review or investigation should focus on the existing ones.
Okay. I think there's been also some reactions on X about this particular thing, and my director should put that on the screen and so that we'll be able to get the responses of people on this particular reaction. But before then, we'll go to, we'll read this from Ben Boache on X, and he has also been saying that KPMG has its integrity at stake if it accepts this job. It is a client of GRA, and its investigation against the leaders of one of its large portfolios is exceedingly suspicious, simply unethical. Wow. So Manasseh, it looks like Ben Boache, Bright Simmons, Cassiel Atuforsen are all against this particular audit. And you've also indicated that the special prosecutor should be the one to stand in to take this. But I mean, with all these coming up, what will be the way forward for the president right now? I mean, he has, talked to KPMG to take this out. KPMG, we don't know yet what their reaction is going to be, but what then? What next? What next for the Fourth Estate?
Well, it should be what next for Ghanaians because the Fourth Estate brought this out. But this money is not the Fourth Estate money. It is money belonging to all Ghanaians. Almost all the time, we hear that they are expanding the tax net and they are introducing many taxes. But if you introduce taxes and then you plug in these dubious deals that siphon so much taxes, then you are asking the GRA and others to go for taxes, and then you, instead of using those taxes to develop the country, those taxes are siphoned by very shady deals. And these revenue assurance deals are not new in this country. 11 years ago, that was 2013, we started talking about Suba Info Solutions. Then it used to be GVG, then Suba, then Kelny GVG, AfriWave, and all of those things. You go into them and you don't really see any value. What happens in this country is that when we have politicians take up power, instead of finding ways of increasing the tax net or getting more people to pay taxes, they mainly try to get companies with political affiliations and sometimes with various interests to get into the system. And it takes so much away. When you look at the amount of money that will be going to SML every year per this consolidated deal, it is more than the total amount of money that we'll be getting from or that we are getting from the e-levy, the electronic transaction levy. This e-levy has caused a lot of harm politically, even to the governing party. This e-levy has caused a lot of harm to the mobile money industry. So why would a government bring this levy, saying that it is very necessary for our survival, despite all the resistance? And then just one contract, we are losing more than how much you'll be earning from this e-levy. SML is not alone. There are many of such deals. So if we're minded to stop these leakages, we would have no business going to the IMF and all the troubles that brings. So What next should be Ghanaians should rise up and demand justice on how their funds or money is used. Because at the end of the day, all of these have an effect on everybody in different ways. You either go to the hospital, there are no beds. People are dying across the country because we have only a few dialysis centers. So if you have kidney failure, you are likely to die. An average person who is rushed to the hospital with an emergency situation is likely to be told that there are no beds. And people die from very avoidable sicknesses. In the whole of northern Ghana, as of last year, my father had a spinal problem and we needed an MRI scan. We had to bring him to Accra because there wasn't a machine in the whole of northern Ghana. This is the country we live in. So if you see hundreds of millions of cedis and dollars going away, then it is everybody's concern. And Ghanaians should wake up and then demand action. I think all of these misgivings are coming because there isn't much trust in the presidency, because a number of scandals in the past were whitewashed and the people cleared in a way that a majority of Ghanaians thought wasn't the right thing to do. So when you see all of these reactions coming, it shows some lack of trust in the office of the president to do what is right. And we hope that he will, on this matter, prove his doubters wrong.
Well, we see where this leads to. Thank you so much, Manasseh Azure Awuni, the editor for the Fourth Estate. And that's how we end that discussion on the SML GRA contract. Well, the other question is, when is the president reshuffling his team? Who do you think is tired and must go? We'll touch base with our correspondents in Kumasi and, of course, here in Accra to find out and get reactions on X as well on what people are saying about that. We'll be right back.
My last question goes to the appointees of this government.
If you are a CEO, deputy, MMC, and you believe you can no longer work for government, resign and let others do the work if you are not included in the reshuffle.
So we are minister, we are CEO, we are deputy, we are MMDC. Now say we reshuffle in the so.
It is time for a change, for others to continue the work. If new people come and work, we will have victory in 2024 election.
Well, my colleague Kenneth Jesse is in Accra here and interacting with people on their views on what Justin Frimpong-Kodia has been saying. Kenneth, what have they been saying?
Right. So, not long ago, the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, John Boadu, came out to say that if you're a Minister of State and you think you're tired, kindly resign from Akufo-Addo's government. We're in the streets once again to find out from Ghanaians which minister they think is tired and should resign. You're live on Joy News.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Apostle Michael.
Right. Which minister do you think is tired and should resign, and why?
The road minister and the finance minister must go. I believe they have performed abysmal to my best of interest, and I don't think they are supposed to hold on their portfolios. With the finance minister, we could see the loops, even pensioners who have served and on retirement. You have dipping their hands in their monies to reform financial sector in Ghana. It's wrong. With the road minister, you shut down the toll booths that can give you a little money to repair some roads. And now we have manholes and gallipers in our road. In these perceptions, I think they have failed woefully and they have to go.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me come to you as well. Which minister do you think is tired and should resign?
Thank you very much. My name is Bukari Mbangiba. I personally don't want to single out a minister and say you should resign. But this goes to all the ministers. If you know you have been given the ministerial position and you are not performing up to expectation, you should consider the masses, the suffering of Ghanaians, and for the sake of God, and then you resign for somebody to come in and do the work well to bring relief to Ghanaians. Look at the way we are suffering. People are suffering. How to even meet a daily square meal is a problem. So somebody shouldn't pick up the position and it's not performing and it's affecting us. The president, before the appointment of the ministers, said he is not appointing them to come and amass wealth, or he's not appointing them to pick up the positions and they are not performing and think that it is a position or it's an opportunity to make money. If you know you are not performing, it's as simple as that. You don't need somebody to come in and tell you that resign. You have to resign yourself. You assess yourself. You have self-assessment. You assess yourself, and if you see that you are not even meeting half of your target, you just resign and somebody comes in. There are a lot of people, a lot of Ghanaians are ready to work. So I think that those who are not performing, those ministers who are not performing, they should look at the sufferings of Ghanaians. They should consider that and then resign for those who are ready to perform to come in.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. If my cameraman could, move forward a bit, we would want to find out from other people on the street also who they think should resign. Remember last year, the Minister for Agric, Dr. Efri Akoto, resigned to go contest for president. And also Alan Chematin, the long-serving trade minister, would resign to contest for president in the New Patriotic Party and resign to form his own political party. It looks like a lot of people are shying away from this this particular topic, but we'll try and get as many as we can to talk to about this particular issue. Hello, good morning. Right, he's not willing to talk to us. Let's try and speak to other people on the streets of Accra to find out from them which minister they feel should resign and why. Daddy, good morning.
Morning.
But who are joining you? So, ministers are Omabano. Ministers, Akufo-Addo ministers. Emu diye na osha omon homodin tia. Obepese nko resign anko any budget.
Moses Anim.
Why?
Moses Anim.
Adentia.
Oh, yeah, the Krameti class or Casao Parliament for that.
Elway, on Casao Parliament.
And I, your whole constituency on MP or 29 won't put that.
So the Hawaiians on Casao Parliament and on 29
in Canada, or she Moses Anim there or resign come pay.
That's it. So he's also mentioning Moses Anim to resign because, according to him, he's also the member of parliament for his constituency and he has never heard him utter a word in parliament, nor has he seen him in his constituency since he was voted for. So let's still try and get more people to speak to us on this topic. Which minister they think is not performing or they think is tired, just like the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, John Boadu, mentioned. Which minister do they think should resign? Let me talk to this gentleman. Hello, good morning. You're live on Joy News.
Okay.
Yes. Which minister do you think is not performing that you feel should resign?
I don't know any minister.
You don't know any minister?
Yes, please.
Why don't you? You don't know the finance minister?
Yeah, I know him.
Okay.
Kenneth Furata.
Are you impressed with his performance?
No, not much.
But you think he should be there?
No, I think he should resign.
Why?
Because now that things in the economy is not moving. Yeah. And then also now everything is expensive, and I think they have to do something about it, which you need to resign so that another person will come, so we know how it will go.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. He's also mentioned that he feels the finance minister should go because things are a bit difficult in the country right now. Let me speak to this gentleman. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're live on Joy News.
Thank you.
Which minister do you think is not performing that you feel should resign?
To me,
Like the road minister.
Why?
Because a lot of Ghana right now, a lot of our roads are bad. If you look at the Pokwasi road right now, they started this road not long ago. Like, and we are in election year now. This road will be there during this election. They will come and do some reshuffle this thing there and say the road is. Meanwhile, within 2-3 years, then you see that the road is bad again. So to me, the road minister is one, education minister is two. Our education system right now, trust me, you know, I don't have to tell you. Right now, we don't even know our education system right now. Everything is bad. Schools are under trees. There's no infrastructure. A whole lot.
There's free SHS.
Oh, Basu. To me, the free SHS, I won't say it is bad and I won't say it's good. It's that both the advantage and disadvantage. You know, in everything, we have the... I always say our leaders, and sometimes if you are doing that, they need to sit down and plan well. Because, boss, trust me, if you don't plan, you do the thing, later on you realize that what you did is cost 90. But if you plan, you see, when you are planning, you realize that if the positive is high, then you can go ahead. But if you are planning and you see that, then the negative aspect can shadow the positive, then you have to restructure it again. You see, but I see that most of our leaders, they don't plan. But when the thing start to, fade out, then they will just come to the limelight and come and speak good, big grammars and all that. And most of our ministers, I always say, see, their job is not in the office. So they need to go on the field. See, Ghana, I can say, if the president will be listening, they have to form another team, which will be a team for supervision. Like if I log in right now that in my community, this is what we want to do. Now I log in and they give me go ahead to do it. There have to be a team to supervise that. What I log in is the project going on. You see, but here is the case. If you log in and then the go ahead has been given or they've granted out the permission, who is checking?
Okay. So in short, you want the education minister?
Yes, the road minister and the education minister. See, most of our road, even this accident and things, is caused by the road. If the road is good, would there be any accident?
Okay. So, I want to thank you very much for your time this morning. And he's mentioned two names: the Minister for Roads and Transport. He wants him to resign. He also wants the Education Minister to resign as well. Let's find out more views from the streets of Accra on which minister they feel is tired, in quotes, just like the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Kodua, I beg your pardon, mentioned should resign. And let's go and try to speak with more people on who they feel should resign. Good morning. You're live on Joy News. Can you kindly speak to us briefly? Okay. Right. So we're still soliciting for the views of Ghanaians on who they feel should resign from government, which minister they feel is not performing and should, as a matter of fact, resign from government. We've heard people say they want the roads minister to resign. About 2 people have said that. About 2 people have also mentioned the name of the finance minister to resign. They've also mentioned a couple of ministers they feel are not performing that should resign from government. Hi, good morning. Okay, she says she's in a hurry for work. And let's try and speak to one more person, and then we hand over to you back in the studio to continue with the show. So, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
You're live on Joy News.
Okay.
Yes. We're trying to find out from you, which minister do you think is not performing that should resign?
I can't actually tell of any of them.
Why? They are all performing for you?
I don't actually follow politics.
Okay. So you don't know any minister?
I know some, but I don't follow politics, so I don't really.
All right, thank you very much. So you've heard the views, opinions of people on the streets, what they think, which minister they think should resign. I mean, some have mentioned about one or two ministers they feel should resign. Others have also said that they have no idea about which minister supervises which ministry. So live from Circle in Accra, I'm Kenneth Jesse. Back to you in the studio.
Then you had Kenneth there talking to some people on the streets about which minister should stay or go. But we've been getting some reactions on X and from our Joy News post. From C News GH, it says, failed government. Also from Sally Formindo, it says, the whole government will be changed come 7th December. Now, John Baptista, or I think it's screening. So from Ivan, he says, why do the NPP believe some of their members will sabotage their own party? If they did not believe so, they wouldn't say. A lot of their members have come to realize what we advised them over in 2016, that Nana Addo was going to take the party as his own and family and run it to achieve his parochial interest. Many did not want Ofori-Atta, his cousin, the finance minister, but he maintained him even at the peril of the party. Today, many members are disillusioned. Many seasoned members of parliament are leaving. After the internal parliamentary primaries, the president is not going to have it easy with his own members in parliament coming into to pass laws for the executive. Just watch. He may now consider asking Ofori-Atta to go. Also from MacDonald Bruce, he says the NPP party is not attractive anymore and has failed most Ghanaians. Wait till the middle of the year, a lot will resign because Akufo-Addo and Bawumia have destroyed the party. And from Freeman Amuji says, are you late? I guess I got that right. Now, Awilichi says the reshuffler pointer is more tired. Who reshuffles the reshuffler? That's a question from Awilichi. And so those are some of the views on X Spaces. We'll be back with the NPP vetting in the Ashanti region. Welcome back, and now we delve into the NPP parliamentary primaries, and then we know that there's a vetting ongoing across the country. Let's go to the Ashanti region and speak to Nanaya Abuachi. What's happening?
Well, Mamiesi, already the vetting process is expected to start at 8:30, but it hasn't started yet. We've seen big wings of the New Patriotic Party throng the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia office here at the Asokwa municipality. They are expecting the Adanse Asokwa Member of Parliament to be vetted here, and also Obuasi East and Obuasi West. Otafo constituency aspirants would also be vetted here, alongside Menchia South, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe, and others would also be vetted here. Adanse Asokore, as mentioned earlier, would also be vetted here, taking his vetting process over here at the Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia office in the Asokwa constituency. You can see party supporters already gathered here. They came along with their members of parliament and other aspirants who are seeking to contest the incumbent members of parliament. Already, we know that the vetting process will be ongoing here at the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia office, at the regional party office in Krofrom, and also at the Bosomchi constituency. The Education Minister, the Honorable Duchum, will also have his vetting at the regional office this morning. And so other members of parliament, incumbent members of parliament who are seeking re-election would also go through the vetting process at the regional office. But then I have the incumbent member of parliament, an incumbent member of parliament who, fortunately for him, is going unopposed, Mr. Echo Blankson, here with me. Honorable, thanks for joining.
Echo Blankson. Alex Blankson.
Alex Blankson.
Member of Parliament for Adanse Akufo.
Thanks for joining us. You're going unopposed. How did you do this in the first place?
Thank you for asking this question. It's due to my hard work, and my constituents rewarded me for that. So that is all.
You're having your vetting process today. 3 processes to the elections: filing of nominations, and then vetting process, and then into January 27th, you'll be having the election itself. How hopeful are you?
Yeah, I know, with my nomination, I've already passed through. We are coming for the vetting. That is the main reason why we are here. And I know how successfully I'll pass through. And we have plans together with my constituency executives, my DC. We have better plans ahead that will help us to get more votes for the president, that is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and me, myself, as a parliamentary candidate. We will win with a landslide victory in Akrofrom. When I was coming in the 2020, by then I wasn't a member of parliament. By now I'm a member of parliament, and with my good works that I've done, I think that one will propel me more and give me more votes so that we can have a landslide victory in Akrofrom constituency.
In Akrofrom, it looks like a fierce contest. The NDC candidate is also poised for victory. How ready are you to contest for the contest itself?
I contested with him last 4 years, and I won over him. I had a difference of 3,500. And with our place, it's not easy to come by those votes, but we made it. And I'm praying very hard that this year, with the good works and all the strategies that we've put across, we know we can come with a very high margin this time.
Well, it looks as if people are quite disturbed with the economic situation, the way governance is going this year, since last year. And so people are losing interest in your party. But does it look like a fair ground for you and the NDC?
It has always been the same. Last 4 years, it was even worse than this time. When we had those Galamsey issues affecting our area, but we still sailed through. This time, though people are saying it's hard, we just saw the Christmas, the way people, so entering into this new year, going forward, I think things will be better. And we are not taking chances. We will make sure we go down, we do a good job so that we can get better results for ourselves. And we are sure of victory. For MPP, for my flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and myself as a member of parliament for Adanse Akrofrom.
Thank you so much. And that's the member of parliament, incumbent member of parliament for Adanse Akrofrom, who is here to go through the vetting process of the new patriotic party. And so later onwards, when he's done with his vetting process, we'll get to him and find out how he feels about the process itself. But I have a member of the vetting committee here with me. Honorable, thanks for joining us this morning.
I'm a chairman.
Chairman of the vetting committee itself. And so today you're having your vetting. It was supposed to start at 8:30 in the morning. What's taking us the delay?
We're supposed to do the vetting. No, we did a pre-vetting conference with all the committee members and the chairman and the region. So we are now going to commence the process in the next, let's say, 30 minutes.
In the next 30 minutes?
Yes.
How are we expecting the process to go through by the end of the day?
A fair process, very transparent process, a very open process. Nobody will seek to disqualify anybody unjustifiably. So I want to assure the aspirants and their supporters, whatever, we will ensure that the rules are respected, they are abided by, and it's going to be a free, open, transparent process. That I can assure you.
But what of the members of parliament who are going unopposed? What is there for them?
We will still vet you. We will still vet you and tell us what you did when you came, what they're going to do forward, going forward into the future. So we will still vet them. We will still vet them. So let's go and do the work. I think we are already running late, as you indicated.
Thank you so much. Your name, please?
Gary Nimako.
That is Mr. Gary Nimako, the chairman of the Veterans Committee. He says that the process is to start in the next 30 minutes. And so in the next 30 minutes, we would have members of parliament going through their vetting process. But then I have another gentleman here with me. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
How's the process so far? You've not started, but then what's your anticipation like?
Thank you. I arrived on time. I'm sure the officials coming to conduct the vetting are also around. We are waiting anxiously for the process to start. We hope we'll have a smooth process, devoid of noise making and any rank cross event. We are hoping to have a successful vetting. And I pray no aspirant is disqualified, because we need a united front to pursue the Agenda 2024. It's going to be a tough election, and we need everybody on board. all hands on deck. So I pray we have a successful and peaceful vetting.
And that is Honorable Boakye Yiadom, the Member of Parliament for Obuasi East. And I know that Obuasi East, you are not going alone. You have others competing with you. How does it look like in Obuasi East?
Oh, it looks pretty good. I'm the incumbent, and I have every confidence in my people because I've related with them very well. I've helped them in the development of the district. My human relations is one of the best. You know, I worked as a medical officer in the constituency before I went to Parliament. I'm using the same attitude, the same work ethics to relate with people, and I have no doubt that on 27th, the people of Obuasi East, the good people of Obuasi East will retain their sitting MP.
I know that after this vetting process, the next important step is the election itself, and then on December 7th, the general election. What is there for you if you pass through the election process, and then the NDC candidate will be contesting you in your Obuasi East constituency?
Yeah, what I can say is that we are going to work even harder this year. We need to do more. We've done a lot, but we need to do more to impress the people. I have no doubt that the December 7th election is going to be for MPP. We've done enough. We will continue to work hard in the election year. We are going to satisfy people, and we're going to prove our case that MPP is the best manager of the economy, and we won't leave this power to our people in the NDC because we know them. We know what they can do and what they cannot do. To them, everything is not possible. When our president, the then candidate Akufo-Addo, was espousing free SHS way back in opposition, they doubted it. They said it could only be possible in 20 years' time. But we gave our power, we gave our authority to the president, and in the first year, he was able to implement free SHS. I can tell you, thousands of children are benefiting from this initiative, and I know we're going to reap the benefits in the next 5 years, next 10 years, and Ghana is going to change because of the foundation our president has laid for our youth.
You make mention of the whole infrastructure and the policies that your government has implemented, but people are still questioning the credibility of your flag bearer now.
You see, there's a saying that if all people love you, woe unto you. I'm sure majority of Ghanaians have seen the good works of this current government, and I can tell you most of the successes of this government can be attributed to the singular effort of the sitting vice president, who is now our flag bearer. So I can assure you that with this 1 year we are going to do more. You know, we are coming from economic crisis which is global in nature and not only peculiar to Ghana. But even in the midst of these difficulties, the government is doing well. Inflation is coming down. We are trying to reduce the borrowing. We're making sure that our roads, which is our major concern in the country, are being fixed. And that is a good thing. And those are the things that Ghanaians will want from any government. And I'm sure when we're able to do all this in this election year, Ghanaians will retain the MPP government.
Thank you so much. But before I let you go, what is there for Obuasi East after this vetting process and after January 27th?
Oh, a lot of things. After constructing 2 parks, which is green grass, I'm going to do an additional one, which is an astroturf. We are going to construct a district hospital. Already, the contractor is on site, and I'm a beneficiary of the Agenda 111. We are also going to construct a district market for the entire district. Our roads is under construction, and I hope when we're able to finish all this, I'm sure the sky is our limit.
Thank you so much. And that is Dr. Boakye Yiadom, incumbent member of parliament for Obuasi East, who is here to also go through the vetting process. We are told that the process is to start in about 30 minutes time. And so later onwards, we'll get to these members of parliament and an aspirant seeking to become members of parliament and find out from them how the process has been. But I have here with me an aspirant for the Obuasi West constituency. You're here to pass through the vetting process. How does it look like?
Oh, it's normal. It's normal because I've been here. I was once upon a time an aspirant 2020. So it's normal for me.
This is your second time?
Yes.
Contesting Obuasi West?
Yes, my second time.
and then you filed your nomination, you're going through the vetting process. What do you think is ahead of you in January 27th?
27.
Where we'll have the main parliamentary elections.
Oh, I see victory. I see victory. That's what I see ahead of me.
And so, what of your opponents?
I don't know about them. Everybody's entitled to. And once we are all going for a contest, everybody's expecting a win, of course. So for me, I am speaking for myself. I see victory.
Thank you so much, Mamiesi. And so this is a parliamentary aspirant for the Obuasi West constituency. She's here to pass through the vetting process. We heard from the Honorable Alex Blankson and also Dr. Boachi Yadom for Obuasi East, who are here to also pass through the vetting process. Currently at the office of Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia in the Ashanti region here in the Asokwa constituency. The vetting process, according to the chairman, is to start in the next 30 minutes. As I earlier said, the CEO of the Konfo Teaching Hospital, Dr. Ocha Ademensa, who is a member of the vetting committee, was here not long ago. We've seen members of the vetting committee and the chairman himself here. They've entered the auditorium where the vetting will be taking place. And so we'll bring you up to speed details as to what happens here in the office of the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the vetting process is yet to start in the next 30 minutes. Already we are expecting Obuasi East, Obuasi West, Akrofom, Adansi Asokwa, Old Tafo constituency, and then Menchia South constituency. These are the people or the aspirants who will be vetted here at the office of Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ahead of the crucial parliamentary primaries of the governing New Patriotic Party. And so there's the situation on grounds. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Nana Boachi Yadom, coming to us from the Ashanti region and giving us updates of the vetting process ongoing there for the NPP parliamentary elections. Now, we'll take you through some of the statistics that have come through, those who've picked forms, those who are going unopposed, and out of the 137 constituencies, we know that 400 forms were picked and only 373 have been returned because 23 are going unopposed. And on your screens, we have constituencies by region. We see that in the Ashanti region, that's the highest of 41 of them, and 41 constituencies there in the Ashanti region, 24 in the Eastern region, followed by the Greater Accra region with 14, 10 in the Central region. We have 9 in Western and Northern regions, 5 in the Bono region, 4 in the Ahafo and Northeast regions, and 3 in Bono East, Upper West, Savannah, Volta, Western North, and 2 in the Upper East region. And on your screen right now, we have the forms that have been picked per regions, and those and the red indicating the forms that have been returned. So on your screen, with the Ashanti region having the highest number of seats, you have 137 forms picked and just 126 returned. In the Eastern region, we have 93 forms that were picked and 85 of those forms returned. In the Greater Accra region, you have 32 forms picked, 32 forms returned. So in the Greater Accra region, all the forms have been returned. And likewise in the Central and Western regions, where in the Central, 27 picked, 27 returned, 25 picked in the Western region, 25 returned. But in the Northern region, we have 15 forms picked, but only 13 have been returned. In the Bono region, 13 forms were picked, 12 returned. And in the Ahafo region, we have 13 forms picked and 9 returned. Upper East, 9 forms picked and all of them have been returned. Likewise, in the Western North region. And in the Northeast region, we have 7 forms and also all those forms have been returned. 5 in the Bono East region, but 4 were returned. 5 in the Upper West region, 5 forms returned. Likewise in the Savannah and Volta regions. Now, if we go into the regions as well, we have some, and we know that 23 seats have gone unopposed, and we look in the regions. Ashanti region has 5 seats that are going unopposed. In the Northern region, 5 as well. In the Northeast region, we have 3 seats that are going unopposed. In the Bono East region, we have 2. And in the Eastern Central, Bono Ahafo, Upper West, Savannah, Volta, and Greater Accra region, just 1 seat. is going unopposed. But in the Western, Upper East, and Western North regions, none of those seats are going unopposed. And that is by way of numbers of those who have picked forms for the NPP parliamentary election. But now let's find out what's cooking in Tamale. We know that there is a chef there trying to break the record, the Guinness World Records, Chef Faila. And we have on the line Martina Bugri, who has been following and observing what's been happening there. Martina, what can you report from where you are? Unfortunately, we do not have Martina on the line, but as you can see in your shot, this is day 3 of Faila cooking and attempting to break the Guinness World Record. But we'll be right back to get details from Martina. Let's take a break. So you're welcome back, and like I said earlier, Chef Faila is attempting to break the Guinness World Record cookathon, time of 119 hours. She's determined to go 120 hours. Well, our correspondent Martina Bugri is on the ground and joins me with updates from where she is. Martina, what can you report?
The fun at the cookathon where Faila is delivering. Good morning to our viewers across the globe and welcome to the Modern City Hotel Tamale where the cookathon is taking place. It's been fun-packed throughout last night to this morning. It's this morning that people have gone on break to go and freshen up and come back. But I must say that if you are not here, then you are missing out. Faila has done 57 hours. He's dished out meals to people, 552 place dishes gone out to people. She's done 60 meals and taken 8 breaks. This is how far she's come. And the resilience, the tenacity she's showing tells us that the fire is not going off anytime soon. And she's enjoyed so much support across the country. People have traveled far and near to come and give her the support. We want to understand what's happening from a member of her management team and how they're able to put things together to keep her in shape and to keep delivering. And so we have, welcome, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, we have seen how she's soldiered on.
Yes.
She's shown so much resilience and tenacity. What is the secret? What have you guys done to her that has kept her pushing?
So one of the most important things we have done is that we have let her know that we are behind her back 24/7. From the beginning to the end, we are solidly behind her. We have reminded her that we love her, we are supporting her, we are backing her up. Any single thing that she needs, we are there for her. That is what we are doing for her.
Now, what is the medical team telling her, and anything to be worried about at this moment?
So what they are telling her is that she needs to be worried about her fatigue. Should, in case she's getting tired or she's feeling any way, she needs to let the medical team know so that they can be on top of it. But apart from that, every single person, TTH, from 6 MRS, everybody is on board, even Tolek, that is the psychology unit as well. They are there to support her every step of the way. So they are there 110%.
Now, we are told that yesterday she kept exceeding the time limit she was being told to do. How's it like this time? Has she been able to remain within the confines of the time that allocated to her to do?
So the thing about Phyla is that even though you give her the time, what she wants to do, she will do. But we are trying to advise her that she should stay within the allocated time. We are hoping she listens to us today. But let's see and watch. The day is still very bright. We have just started. But we are hoping that as the time goes on, she will make sure that she sticks to the time so that she can rest.
Now, let's talk about the support from the people of Tamale.
The support is amazing. The support is 150%. Everybody is coming from every area. Is it Chogu? Is it Yapasi? Is it Zayuri? Is it Gumani? Everybody from every corner of the northern region have been here to support. Both old and young, pregnant women, old men, every single person you can think about has been represented here.
Now, someone called yesterday and talked of supporting with rice. Have you had people coming into donations so that she can continue cooking without any problem?
Yes, please. Just this morning, they just called right now and they've gotten somebody to actually support with rice. I'm sure you'll be speaking to him very soon. He's very much around there. Everybody from every corner, not just only rice, every single food item that she would need to make this work, people are contributing and they are supporting.
Thank you so very much. We are very much grateful for your time.
Thank you.
You had a member of her management team giving us an update on how they are inspiring her to deliver, how they are pushing her, and also trying to control her excesses so that she doesn't break down and be able to deliver. I must say that various groups have passed through to lend her support. We had some dance team come in, traditional rulers come in. We had different groups of people come in just to support her. And I must say that the support she's gaining is amazing. Now, the beautiful thing is that at this time of the moment we are speaking, the only thing that unites us as Ghanaians now is this cookathon. You go through the various social media platforms and it's amazing the support Ghanaians are offering her.
Doling out over 500 dishes. Have you been able to taste any of the dishes? How does it taste?
Yes, yesterday I tasted gable. It's a local dish made from beans, and it's so lovely. Lots of people I have spoken to who ate are so impressed that even after several hours of cooking, the food tastes just fantastic.
Thank you very much, Martina, and she should also know that from here we are supporting her. But before you go, can we hear from the supporters, those there, how they are supporting her, the excitement? We want to feel it here in the studio.
For now, most people are going to freshen up and get back. And so I'm sure in the next 1 hour, we will have the place packed as usual, and then we can get to mingle with the people who have come from far and near to offer support.
Have you also heard from Phyla herself? How I know her management are taking good care of her. Has she said anything concerning her currently, how she's feeling about what she's doing?
She herself hasn't spoken, but we spoke to her husband, and he says she's excited doing this. She just loves to cook, and this is a platform for her to show how much she loves what she loves doing best. And so he says that he's excited. It is a family thing, and everybody in the family is backing her. The husband has been here since the day the whole process started. Yesterday, her little baby came around, walked around here a while, and was sent back. And so the family has given her the support, and I must say that Phyla is in good shape continuing the cooking process.
Well, it's been day 3 since she started, and I'm interested in the type of meals she's cooking. Is it just local dishes, or she's also cooking international dishes?
So it's an array of dishes from continent to continent. She has mixed. She's had African dishes, she's had northern dishes, Ghanaian dishes, continental dishes, just name it. And we are told that she's done 60 different dishes.
Right. We're grateful, Martina, and we'll come back to you to find out the latest from where you are. I mean, she's also getting the support here in Accra. We are rooting for her, and we are hoping that she'll break that record of 120 hours. And that's Martina Bugri from
And we would love to give you updates on the beautiful things happening at the Modern City Hotel.
So there you have it. Phyla is cooking her way into breaking the 120-hour record she set for herself. So far, she's done 57 hours and counting. And as you can see in your shots, she's already begun cooking on day 3 of the Cookathon tournament. And I can imagine the kind of effort that she's put into this competition. And if you look in your shot, this woman doesn't look fatigued in any way. And it's been 3 days. I can imagine standing on your feet even for 24 hours. It is tiresome. But it looks like her team is doing so well to keep her spirits up. And she doesn't look any less tired or whatsoever. She seems in good spirits as she continues to cook and to break this record. We hope that she's able to break the 120 records. We are hearing that should last well into 5 days, and she's already done 3 days, so she has roughly about 48 hours more to go, or even 72 hours if she wants to go further. And so in your shot is Chef Phyla trying to cook, I think, some protein over there, shaking the bowl and getting things cooked over there, and even smiling whilst doing that. And I think she's really into this. So on that note, that's coming from you for Tamale. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. And now we invite you to have your say. What are your sentiments about who should stay, who should be in government, and who should go out of government? You can call us on 030-221-1691 and tell us what you're thinking. 030-221 and tell us what you're thinking. Do we have anybody on the line yet? So on your screen now, you have the number 030-221-1691 or 030-221-1692. Call us and tell us what you're thinking. We asked you a question earlier. Who do you think should stay in government and who do you think should go? I think we have a first caller on the line. Hello and welcome to the AM show. What are your thoughts? Ebenezer, welcome to the AM show. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I think FPP has failed.
All right, so who do you think in the government should be kicked out?
Yeah, MPP should be kicked out and NDC should be brought in.
But, we're talking about reshuffling now. So, which ministers should be in and which should be out?
Right now, I think the finance minister should be taken away.
Okay. And Ebenezer, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So you can also call in and share your thoughts, 030-221-1691 or 030-221-1691 too. Divine, thank you for calling into the show. What are your thoughts? Who should be reshuffled?
Okay, so I think the ministers, especially the finance minister, should go.
All right. Is that all?
Yes, and then this government, this MPP government, but he has failed us enough. We should go. The NDC government should come back and let's see what they can do.
All right, Divine, thank you for your thoughts as well. And so Divine and Wisdom have been sharing their thoughts on what they think. You can also share your thoughts with us. Ebenezer from Ho, tell us, how is the Volta region and what are your thoughts?
Everything is fine.
Can you please speak up for me?
Everything is fine in Volta region.
Wonderful. And who do you think should stay and who do you think should go?
I think so far all the ministers are doing well, just that things are not that normal.
Ebenezer, I can hardly hear you. Can you please speak up a bit for us?
I'm saying so far everything is fine. Among the ministers, everybody is performing, just that things will be fine as time goes on. But currently, I think the energy minister and the education minister, everybody is doing fine. Just that the road minister, focusing on the Kumasi Accra highway, I think he must do something about it. Because just recently I drove on that way and the road is not all that good. So I think so far, so good.
Thank you so much, Ebenezer. Abdul Karim, where are you calling us from and what are your thoughts?
From Christia Kutukrum.
Right. Can you speak up, please, and tell us what you think? Who should go, who should stay?
I thought the Honorable Abu Jennifer should go and the Finance Minister.
All right. Why do you think they should go?
They are not performing well. Their performance are very poor.
All right. Thank you, Abdul Karim. Shaibu, what are your thoughts?
I think the Finance Minister must go.
Why do you think he should go?
In fact, the economy is very bad shape. The mismanagement is too much. So he.
All right, Shaibu, thank you. Osami, where are you calling from and what are your thoughts?
I'm calling from Nima.
Okay, who do you think is performing and who do you think is not?
I think the finance minister should go because as of now, as the president has ordered his investigation into SML, he should rather aside for investigation to go on so that he can. He should quit. Just go. And the Minister of Lands and Forestry must go because he has failed in fighting Gamse. He must go. Most of them must go. Even the whole government must go for another government because the president has confirmed that he cannot do it like that. Blessed man.
Thank you very much for your thoughts. And our last caller from Tamale. Please, who are you? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Abdullah from Tamale.
Right, Abdullah.
The finance minister and the health minister should go. They are not performing. Since from 2017 to now.
I didn't get that. Who and who should go?
The finance minister and the health minister.
Oh, health minister.
Yes.
Right. And why do you think they should go?
If you look at health sector, there is unemployment in the health sector.
Right.
Unemployment. The finance minister is not giving financial clearance, and the minister too, his too is just sitting there.
Thank you so much for your thoughts.
So this will go.
All right. We're grateful for your thoughts, and that was our last caller coming in from Tamale. And we're grateful for your thoughts coming in from the various regions in the country. And that's how we round up today's edition of the AM show. It's been exciting and it's been interesting hearing the thoughts, for hearing your thoughts, and also as well our resource persons who joined us on today's show. And we promise you tomorrow will be even more exciting. You don't want to miss tomorrow's show. We have some surprises for you. And from me and the crew on the AM show, we're grateful for spending time with us. Up next is News Desk.